Welcome to our coverage of the market. Today, the 29th of October 2020. If you're new to this channel, thank you for joining us. Subscribe and like. And if you're already signed up, thank you very much once again for uh, watching and remaining a subscriber. Thank you very much. Um, um, don't fail to avail yourself of the many opportunity we are putting in your direction. What we do on our platform, that is Equity for Keeps, is that we help everybody make very clever use of your money, and we're charging no fee to sign up or anything like that. It's strictly free. And okay, so let's quickly dive into the stocks. Stocks, that's what we're talking about today. And one of the trending ones is Overstock. Overstock is currently up. Oh, it's losing some steam. 1.75%. It was up by a huge margin. You can see what's going on here. This is what it opened at. It gapped in the market, and it closed at 772.71. And when the market opened, it was at 82.39. It has since lost all that steam. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, Overstock Q3 rises 111% to 732 million. Overstock reports Q3 2020 financial results. Q3 earnings per share of $0.5. Revenue rose 111% to $732 million. Okay, yeah, something is going on there. Of course, we all know that the market is all it's been a sell-off for some days now, and so that may be part of what is going on with it, with this decline we're seeing. Okay, and it has a short interest of 11.2%. 63% of the equity held by institutions. Shares outstanding 42.48 million. And as we have done of late, we'll go and have a look at the ideas section and see what we can further digest concerning Overstock. This is a great tool from Charles Schwab. OSTK, Overstock. Okay, this is quite old. Let's update it. Okay, Overstock has a market cap of 3.1 billion. It's a small cap, and short interest of 11.23 million. It will take about one day and some fraction to cover all of that 11.23% going by its average volume, and the average volume for 10 days is about 2.6 million. Technically, Overstock appears to be consolidating within a longer term uptrend. Okay, longer term uptrend. That's the long term. This is a long term uptrend. The average directional index is below 20, indicating that shares have traded sideways recently. However, the 200-day is sloping bullishly upwards. Comparative relative strength analysis shows that this issue is lagging the S&P 500. Okay, that's interesting. Further on, we can see that the momentum of Overstock is improving. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising. As investors begin to purchase more shares. And volume, as measured using the unbalanced volume indicator, is fallen and therefore bearish. This is because volume has been greater on down periods than on up periods, implying that sellers are more active than buyers. Okay, let's see again. Yeah, it is of late. Yes, it's just been consolidating. Not very. It's been a bit tepid. Not been very. It's not strongly bullish. Bollinger Bands for Overstock are of a normal width and signal that volatility has been in line with the norm for the stock. Okay, so the next equity will be Pinterest. Let's see. Okay, it's up 37%. It's probably not the trend, and the broader market hasn't touched it that much. Okay, let's see. Let's go to a different summary page, and we'll return to the ideas page. You can see it gapped in the market and continued upwards. Okay, stocks swing between gains and losses in early US trading as tech climbs before key earnings oil slides. Okay, yeah, that's something to say here about that. Okay. Okay, it's just saying that it's up. Let's see if there's any news. It probably it may have reported some of its earnings outcomes. Okay, let's update things on the chart here before we move on to the ideas page. Okay, yes, it's updated. It's 29th. Okay, let's go back to the ideas page. That's where we're going to find more. Okay, let's make it pins. Okay, it's up 35.96%. Okay, it's just lost some 2% already as the bug caught up with it. Let's see. Okay, its future earnings are coming up in February 2021. Let's see whether okay, we don't have anything concerning. We don't exactly know why it's rising. Let's see. I think it's probably the same thing we saw over there. Who knows? It's gonna be. It's just saying it's up. Not exactly giving all the details out. Giving the details away. Yeah, you can just see it saying just up. Okay, we don't exactly know what's going on, what's driving it, but it's up. Okay, 52-week high. It's today was reported. Okay, investment profile report now available. Let's have a look and see if there's anything pertaining to anything here. Okay, I don't think this is that recent as such. Okay, let's also come back here and see the way whether we can get anything here from Google. Pins. Okay, Pin interest stock saw some big revenue beat and strong user numbers. Okay, this is probably what reported yesterday, as I presume. Okay. Pinterest stock soared as much as 30% after hours. Okay, so that was yesterday when it reported earnings outcomes. Okay. User growth was fueled by adoption of international users. The company's international MAU was 343 million, up 46% year on year. Pinterest stock price soared as much as okay. Adjusted earnings per share is 13 cents versus 3 cents expected per Refinitiv. Revenue of 443 million versus 383.5 million. Okay, monthly active users 442 million versus 436. ARPU $1 0.03 versus 0.09 per FactSet. Pinterest strong beat created a halo effect for peers in the social media market, with Twitter up more than 5% and Facebook and Snap up more than 2% and after hours trading. Okay, so that is it's still carrying the momentum from the aftermarket yesterday. Market capitalization is 29.6 billion. It's a market cap. 71% of the equity or the issue are held by institutions. 600 million or the shares on float, and the short interest is 2.59%. It should take about 1 day and some fraction to cover up that short the short positions. 10-day average volume is about 20.6 million, and for 90-day is 16.7 million. Okay, Pins appears to be in a strongly bullish trend. Its 200-day moving average is sloping upwards, and the MACD histogram is above zero. Comparative relative strength index analysis shows that these issues are performing the S&P 500. Okay, so it has 46 million shares already above average. Let's refresh and see whether it is still at 30. It is losing some steam. It's now down at 34.21. Okay, let's carry on with the technicals. Momentum for Pins is strongly bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors pay higher prices for shares. The volume as measured by using the unbalanced volume indicator is rising and therefore bullish. This is because the volume is greater on up periods than on down periods, and implies that buyers are presently more active than sellers. The Bollinger Bands are presently wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompanied the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in the near-term trend. Okay, so the next equity will review will be APOP, Cellect Biotechnology. Okay, it's up 10.59%. Cellect is a life sciences tools and services company trading on Nasdaq, but it is an ADR. It's a micro cap of $6.6 billion. Short interest is 3.15%. Okay. Has filed a Form 6K disclosure with the SEC. It's an Israeli company adding to a growing roster of partners. Cellect Biotechnology Limited announced that it has entered into and commenced a collaborative development program with Sweden-based X&K Therapeutics, a pioneer in natural killer cell-based therapies. This latest argument demonstrates the continued progress and operational momentum we continue to generate, further validating our strategic vision and potential revenue opportunities. Okay, that is probably partly what is driving the stock upwards. Yes, it says GDP jumps 33.1% in Q3. So you have to divide that by 4 to actually find exactly what it is annualized. So that will be about 7%, or some fraction. Would that be 7%? No, 8% and some 8.25%. 8.25%. Okay. Cellect Biotech appears to be in a strong bearish trend. Shares are below a declining 200 moving average, and the MACD is beneath its signal line. Comparative relative strength index shows that this issue is lagging S&P 500. Okay, yes, the near term and the short term, and yeah, indeed the long term are all bearish. Momentum for APOP strongly bearish. The 14 period slow stochastic oscillator is below 20, the level which many analysts call oversold. This means that investors have been actively selling shares and driving the price lower. Today's volume is on track to be heavier than usual, with 4.4 million shares having traded so far. You can see the average volume for 10 days is 93.97, so 93,976. For 90 days is 108,000. So this is by far so many multiples of the regular. The on-balance volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. The Bollinger Bands are presently wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompanied the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in the near-term trend. Okay. So we'll move on to the next one. It's IPHI. IPHI. Inphi Corporation. Inphi Corporation is up 23.06%. Let's see, that's updated here. IPHI. Okay, it's currently down 22.84. Okay, it reported Q3 earnings were $0.88, which is a plus 0.03 beat. This is a 95.56 increase over non-GAAP results from the same period a year ago. Okay, volume spiked, it's saying there. Price crossed above the 50-day moving average. And okay, market edge rating change. All right. Okay, I think there's more. Okay. Yesterday the price crossed below the 50-day, and today it's crossed above. Okay. So yes, obviously that's it. That's the line. You see, yesterday it crossed below, and then today has spiked. So yes, some market participants will consider that a buying up opportunity, and those who put their money as at the time it crossed and remained there would have seen some gain already. Okay, it's a small cap of $5.8 billion. 93% of the issue are held by institutions, and there are 51.93 million shares. The short interest is 4.38. It would take about roughly 3 days to cover all of the short interests. And there isn't anything technically to digest here. We don't have it. Could it be that we need to refresh. There is currently no technical analysis. That's what it's saying. Inphi. Oh yes, it has. It is. There is. We just needed to do what we did, which was to refresh. Okay. So this is also the same earnings details we read up there. Okay, Inphi appears to be in a strong bullish uptrend. Its 200-day moving average is upward sloping, and the MACD histogram is above zero. Comparative relative strength analysis shows that this issue is outperforming the S&P 500. Momentum for Inphi is strongly bullish. The 14 period those stochastic oscillators rising as investors pay higher prices for shares. Today's volume is on track to behavior than usual. Yes, it is. You can see yet another. It's up by several multiples. It's at 5.3 million, whereas the 10-day average is about 722,000. That of the 90 days about roughly 1 million. Okay, the unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. Okay, the Bollinger Bands are presently wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompanied the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in the near-term trend. Okay, let's see whether there's any news concerning Inphi. Okay, yes, Biotechnology Group said Thursday, which is today, the 29th of October 2020, it has agreed to acquire Inphi Corp in a cash and stock deal that will create a semiconductor giant with an enterprise value of $40 billion. Under the terms of the transaction, Inphi shareholders receive $66 cash and 2.3 common shares of the combined company for each Inphi share they hold. Marvel said the acquisition will enhance its position in the cloud market and expand its 5G opportunity as well as its addressable market. It also expected to be accretive to Marvel's non-GAAP EPS by the end of the first year after the deal closes. Annual run rate signages are estimated to be $125 million to be realized within 18 months upon deal closing, according to a statement. The deal will be financed with cash on hand and debt financing from JP Morgan. Is expected to close in the second half of 2021. Upon closing, Marvel shareholders will own about 83% of the combined company, with Inphi shareholders will own the remaining 17%. Separately, Marvel said it is expecting Q3 revenue of about $750 million plus or minus 2% in Q3. Shares of Inphi rose 20% in early trading on Thursday, while Marvel was down 9%. Okay, let's refresh again and see what Inphi is doing. It's going. This team has continued to fizzle out. Let's find out what Marvel is doing. We expect it to also be down. MRVL. Yes, it's down 6%. Okay, so the next equity will be Moderna. MRNA. Okay, it reported its earnings outcomes on the open of the market. Okay, it was a minus, earnings per share was a minus $0.59, a loss of 0.16. This is a 59.46% decrease of non-GAAP results from the same period a year ago. Okay, price crossed above 50-day moving average. Okay, right now it hasn't crossed yet. It's below it now, or just right on the edge. Yesterday it crossed. Yes, as we can see, it crossed yesterday. So this is what's going on at the moment. So what's the figure? It's up 3.53% at the moment, but also still trading below its near-term trend lines. Let's see. Let's find out. MRNA. Okay, 3.82%. Okay. So it's a mid-cap company of has a mid cap capitalization of $25.9 billion. 394 million shares were issued, and the short interest is 6.93%. It will take about 4 days and a few hours to cover all of those short interests. And some interesting facts here. 90 days volume is 15.9 million. Obviously, because a lot of people were active, a lot of market participants were active with Moderna, and a lot of the issues that were involved in COVID-19 vaccine development. And so the average volume you can see is 15.9 million for 90 days, and for the last 10 days it's now 4.9 million. Let's see. Okay, yes, we really know it lost some money. It made some losses, but even at that, market participants are trying to shrug that off. But there might be other sort of news. Let's see whether there's news concerning any other thing it's doing. Yes, there's something there. Let's see. Okay, it's on track to report COVID-19 vaccine. Sorry about that. It's the sort of page we are dealing with. That is why we have this. Okay, it's on track to report COVID-19 vaccine. Okay, so that's amongst other things. So that is probably what is driving it up at the moment. It's up. Let's find out. 4.24%. So it's shrugging off what's going on broadly in the market. A lot is now a lot is expected from them, because if a vaccine comes out, it's expected that Moderna, Pfizer, and some of the other biotech companies will be involved, and it is at that point that maybe we might see a sort of a rally, among other things. But it's not only what's holding the market down. It's not just the vaccine or the COVID situation. It's also the election uncertainties. Okay, so technically, Moderna appears to be consolidating within a longer-term uptrend. The average directional index is below 20, indicating that shares have traded sideways recently. However, the 200-day is still sloping bullishly upwards. Comparative relative strength analysis shows that the issue is outperforming the S&P 500. The 14-day slow stochastic oscillator is below 20, the level which many analysts call oversold. This means that investors have been actively trading certain shares and driving the price lower. Today's volume is on track to be heavier than usual, with 1.9 million shares having traded so far. The unbalanced volume indicator shows that long-term accumulation has given way to near-term selling pressure by traders. The Bollinger Bands for Moderna are of a normal width and signal that volatility has been in line with the norm for this stock. Okay. Yes, it has been consolidating. Yes, no doubt. You can see as a matter of fact, the short-term trend lines, the 10-day and the 20-day they don't have any steam. They are all rolling over. And the 50 days, this blue one is just very much horizontal. It's trying to catch up. So in all, yes, it's hasn't been. It's we could say consolidating, yes, but it may well even be a correction. So this is 7.1813 to 6.853. So okay, it's not up to 10%. So let's if you don't mind, review what was said here. The unbalanced volume indicator shows that longer term accumulation has given way to near term selling pressure by traders. Okay, yes, indeed. Of late, we can see that there has been more of selling. So since the 13th of October, there has been more selling than buying. Okay, so the next one is Tapestry. TPR, Tapestry Inc. Okay, Tapestry is a textiles, apparel, and luxury goods maker trading on the New York Stock Exchange. It's currently up 5.73%. Okay, its earnings outcomes were already out. Q1 reported earnings were $0.58. It's a positive $0.35 beat. This is for the 5% increase over non-GAAP results from the same period a year ago. Okay, it's a small cap of $5.9 billion, 277.374 million shares. What were issued? 99% are held by institutions. 4% of that float sold short. And it would take about 2 days and some hours to cover all of that, going by its current average volume. Before we digest any of the technicals, we just want to see if we can get any more news apart from the earnings outcomes it has over there. Tapestry, okay, jumps okay on earnings outcomes. Okay, brief. Okay, it's probably just going to be largely because of the earnings outcomes. Okay, so technically it has an average volume for 10 days, which is 6.03 million shares. For 90 days is 5.8 million shares. And the trend for Tapestry is showing that strength is that it is showing strength within a longer term bearish trend. Longer term bearish trend. Okay, so it is with reference to the 200-day moving average. It's it is still reeling from this decline that occurred from the February, and also the consolidation that it struggled with until probably up until the 9th of September. So that was a long time. That was September to, that is about 7 months. So yeah, 7 months. We have about 20 trading days in 1 month. So we are talking about 20 times 7. It's about 140 days. So yes, if 140 out of 200 are bad, then probably you have a slope that looks like this. Okay. So, but it has sales since continued to. It says here it is showing strength. Okay. So okay, it's marked days above the signal line, and shares are presently 31.7% above the 200-day moving average. However, that moving average is declining, implying that caution is still warranted. Comparative relative strength analysis shows that these issues are outperforming the S&P 500. The momentum for Tapestry, as measured by a 14-period slow stochastic oscillator, is waning. This means that investors are less aggressive in their recent purchases and may even be taking profits in positions bought at lower prices. The last 10 days have seen significant volume in Tapestry, with average daily volume above the average for last year. Today's volume is no exception, with 5.012 million shares having been traded already. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope for the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. Okay, so before we'll just digest this and also talk about other things. The Bollinger Bands are presently more wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompany the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in the near-term trend. Okay, and yes, they are in the textiles, apparel, and luxury goods. So they're not exactly doing that badly because people are at home, and if I can imagine that probably they are. They sell apparel that also includes casual apparel, which shouldn't be doing that badly right now because more people are at home and they are not really going to dress smartly as such. It's going to be more of the casual and the stuff. But indeed, luxury goods may not be that much. That may not sell that much, not that well. But if indeed they sell apparel and indeed they do sell casuals, then they should really be benefiting from what's going on at the moment. So probably the reason why we are seeing this sort of short-term increases we have seen so far. Okay, currently it is trading above all its trend lines, and yeah. So, but we also noticed that the 50-day and the 200-day almost they're not converged. The 50-day just crept up above the 200-day. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, and it's going to be Ford. Let's see what F. Okay, Ford is up 6.1%. Okay, let's see what whether there's any report that's out today. Okay, this is more like the sort of reports we expect to see. Okay, and it's says that Ford rebounds from pandemic with a strong Q3, but Q4 won't be as strong. Okay, and the bulls are saying that Ford stock looks undervalued to us, but a turnaround will take lots of time due to many restructuring projects around the world. Ford is focusing its investments where it gets the best return, which is why mostly existing North American car segments is the right move, in our opinion. Ford has tried to remove more administrative layers, and Jim Farley becoming CEO brings the opportunity to the stock for the stock to rebound. They also this is what the bears are saying. The auto industry is very cyclical, and until recently, Detroit automakers have been losing significant U.S. market share to foreign automakers for years. Long-term profitability could be hindered by unions, which traditionally have wanted their share of the pie. The non-unionized import automakers in the U.S. do not have these problems. Ford stock can sell off heavily on macroeconomic fears, even if the company itself is doing well. Furthermore, it takes significant investment to fund growth in the auto industry, which limits potential margin expansion. Debt is also high. Okay, so this is just a snapshot of what's going on. There's some analyst notes here. Ford had a strong third quarter with adjusted diluted earnings per share of $0.65, up 91% year over year, and far ahead of the $0.19 Refinitiv consensus. We are raising our fair value estimate to $13 from $8. Our $8 figure was developed in light of the firm's debt laden balance sheet and the massive uncertainty in place following the onset of the pandemic. We're glad to see Ford is in September finished repaying the entire $15 billion of credit line to draw credit line it borrowed in the spring, yet still finished the quarter with $29.5 billion of automotive cash and $45.5 billion of total liquidity, excluding Ford Credit. Management only said of the dividend that it will update in the spring, but we think the cash heavy balance sheet means it's coming back in 2021 as long as the pandemic does not cause massive disruption, like a multi-month shutdown of North American plants like this past spring. Interesting. We'll just see if we can include this report for you. We'll try our best, but it can only be available if we just put a link there in the description box. You would only be able to see this report if you have an account with Charles Schwab. Okay, so let's see if we can digest some more technicals before we move on to the rest of the issues we have to look at. Okay, it's a mid-cap company with a market cap of $30.1 billion, and the shares outstanding is 3.9 billion shares, and 49% are held by institutions, and short interest is 2.41%. It should take about 2 days to cover all of them. Okay. The 10-day average volume is 59 million shares, and for the 90-day was 63 million shares. It says here Ford accelerates turnaround with pickup pricing. So there's even more news here. Ford is no longer stuck in second gear. The $30 billion automaker reported $2.4 billion in the third quarter earnings on Wednesday, crushing Refinitiv mean estimates. But new chief executive Jim Farley, whose first official day was October 1 may find it tough to keep up this pace and deliver on electric vehicle promises. The United States' second largest vehicle maker should now be in the black this year, an improvement on its own earlier forecasts. The Michigan-based company's $37.5 billion revenue was almost twice the previous 3 months' haul, and Ford's adjusted pre-tax profit margin of 9.7% in the same period also topped its 8% goal. Okay. Technically, Ford is showing strength within a longer-term bearish trend. Its MACD is above the signal line, and shares are presently 24.4% above the 200-day moving average. However, that moving average is declining, implying that caution is still warranted. Comparative relative strength analysis shows us that this issue is outperforming the S&P 500. So it's showing strength within a longer-term bearish trend. Yes, just like the last equity we looked at, that's Tapestry. Okay, so yes, it's very much like so it's more like you might just probably technically you can lump them all up, even though yeah, it's because we saw what we saw here is also the same thing we saw in that other one. Okay, so and yeah, showing strength in a longer term bearish trend. Okay, so momentum for Ford as measured by the 14 period stochastic oscillator is waning. This means that investors are less aggressive in their recent purchases and may even be taking profits in positions but at lower prices. Today's volume is on track to be heavier than usual, with 48.23 million shares having traded so far. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. Okay, the Bollinger Bands are presently wider than usual as a result of greater than normal volatility that accompanied the recent price move. Events such as this may precede a pause or reversal in the near-term trend. Okay, so let's quickly jump on to the next equity. That will be PENN, Penn National Gaming Inc. It's up 3%. Okay. Reported Q3 earnings outcomes. It was $0.93, a gain of $0.40. So it was, or it is a 144.74% increase over non-GAAP results from the same period a year ago. Okay, it has a market cap of 8.7 billion. It's a mid cap. 153 million shares outstanding. 79% are held by institutions, and 10% of that are sold short. It should take about roughly 3 days to cover all of those short interests. And 10-day average volume is 5.5 million. 90-day average is 9.4 million shares. And yes, it's all talking about the outcomes, the earnings outcomes, and this as well. Okay, and Penn appears to be correcting within a longer-term bullish trend. Okay, yes, correcting within a long term. So this is the longer-term bullish trend. So it's correcting. Yeah. Let's see, correcting. So this is 70, 83, 50. 58, 51, so a correction will be 10%, so that will be the highest point so far, I think. Yeah, I think this is the highest point. This is the 22nd of this of September. So that is a 74.36. So okay, 74.36 minus 10% of that will be yeah, would it be up to 10? Would it be okay, not up to it will be about 50. Yeah, 57. So it's probably roughly a correction. Yes, so roughly a correction. So it's correcting within a longer term bullish trend. Although its MACD is presently below the signal line, the shares remain 60.7% above an upwards sloping 200-day moving average. The comparative relative strength index shows that this issue is lagging the S&P 500. Okay, the momentum for Penn is strongly bearish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is below 20, the level which many analysts call oversold. This means that investors have been actively selling shares and driving the price lower. Today's volume is on track to be heavier than usual, with 3.4 million shares having traded so far. The unbalanced volume indicator shows that a longer-term accumulation has given way for near-term selling pressure by traders. It's a mix, a balanced mix of what has been going on, not exactly what's going on right now. Okay, presently the Bollinger Bands for Penn are of a normal width and signal that volatility has been in line with the norm for the stock. Okay, so let's see if we can round up with Shopify. Okay, Shopify is down 0.8. Okay, it's down 2.2%. It was lower than that before. Okay, it announced its outcomes today. Let's get some of that. Let's get it from here. It says third quarter earnings announcement expected. Okay, it's expected today. Shopify has confirmed that earnings will be announced today, Thursday, the 29th of October 2020, before market opens. Okay, the consensus estimates 0.53 with a high and low of $1.2 and 0.12 respectively. The mean has trended upward for the last estimate of 0.52. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, reported earnings were $1.13, a 0.60 beat. All right, and price crossed below 50-day moving average today. Okay, that's it. You can see that it has crossed the 50-day moving average. This is the 50-day moving average, this line. Okay, so it's a large cap of 124.6 billion, 121.38 million shares, and 70% are held by institutions, and 1.6% are held by pessimistic market participants. A number of days to cover all of that is about 1 day and some fraction. And 10-day average volume is 1.1 million. For 90 days, it's 2.1 million. So Trend analysis shows that Shopify appears to be consolidating within a longer term uptrend. Okay, yes, consolidating. Yes, you can see that they're not. Well, in recent times, since about 2 weeks ago, thereabout, it's been consolidating, not really going up. And today it's not up either. Yesterday it wasn't up, and yeah, consolidating within a longer term uptrend. So the longer term is this 200 days. So it's consolidating, yes, within that longer term, that uptrend. The average directional index is below 20, indicating that shares have traded sideways recently. However, the 200-day is still sloping bullishly upwards. Comparative relative strength analysis shows that this issue is outperforming the S&P 500. Okay, momentum for Shopify is strongly bearish. Okay, the 14 periods, those stochastic oscillators falling as investors sell shares and drive their price lower. Today's volume is on track to be heavier than usual, with 1.59 million shares having traded so far. The unbalanced volume indicator is bearish. The slope of the indicator is negative and suggests that there is a lack of buying interest. Okay. Volatility measured by using the width of the Bollinger Bands is low. Periods of low volatility tend to precede price breakouts, although they do not provide information as to which direction the breakout will take. Trend and momentum indicators can be helpful to measure future trends. Okay, let's see. So it's mostly the outcomes that I think is what is behind what is the current news concerning Shopify. So they were quite positive, but I think market participants haven't priced that in yet. So on this lower bar here, you can see it's showing it's down 0.83%. Okay, so if you are new to this channel, subscribe, like and share. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.